I enjoy soda. I said no, but as long as you had it, welcome. Thank you so much. It's an honor. If ladies and gentlemen do not know Elvira Colorado, is one of the elders of the indigenous community locally, and also along the Western Hemisphere. So it's an honor to have you here. Is that exit? Right. And that's 42. 5. As a matter of fact, this is going to be her sister, and her son's event on the 21st. So I'm just going to have that there in the meantime. So Jocelyn asked me to do this about a month or 2 months ago, right after I came back from Central America. And honestly, not an expert on Mayan culture, but I was like, no big deal. I've been in indigenous studies. I have a general knowledge of Mayan culture. I'll just read some books like I always want to read. And so I was completely wrong, of course. So I honestly give myself between a high school diploma and an associate on this, because it was not easy. It is not easy. No. It takes years because the comprehensiveness of my rest of my family. So I'll let you be the judge. Some of the information that I will share, I gathered at my most recent trip to Central America a few months ago. We'll go through some history, some geography, math, astrology, sociology, and the thought process of humanity. Hopefully I will not bore you too much, since I'm sure you have a lot of these classes here all day. And the distinction is that I will give you all of them for free. Not exactly free, just payment in time. Now I'm sure many of you exasperated when I mentioned payment in time. You might have quickly transitioned your thoughts to the schedule. What you have to do next: study, work, phone calls, meetings, check your Facebook. Honestly, I was sketchy about mentioning the payment in time marks because of concern. I do have to use the application with time and priority. It is more important to invest in my time for my future, immediate, long-term, and the final outcome. Is there going to be a long-term plan for us? So many thoughts racing through the mind, but that is the truth. Many of us here live in New York City. Most of us, if not all of us, live in the super fast-paced, very busy, constantly rushing city. You think the Maya was so constrained by time? Do you? No. They weren't ruled by the time per se. They did not attempt to rule time either, as many feel they can do today. They move and often still move in sync with time, as the universal consciousness that flows through indigenous cultures to move in sync with Mother Nature, La Pachamama. A few soon ago, I went to the American Museum of Natural History with author Richard Rodriguez to see the sky, stars, planets, galaxies, and universe in their theater. Across the ceiling and consolidated into about 2 hours of time. Convenient for my quote-unquote busy schedule. Now, I do recommend this show, but this is to show where time is taking us. We often seek out and say we're going to lay under the sky and gaze at the stars. Now, this was and still is a daily ritual for many indigenous people, to the point of being able to tell you the time of day and the weather that is going to come. And when. I recently met a man from Oaxaca who has lived in the U.S. almost all his life. His home and business in Coney was flooded by Hurricane Sandy. When I had to leave in the afternoon, we looked at the sky. We looked to the west and stated, happily, it's going to be an Indian summer tomorrow. And just as he has said, it was a warm and beautiful winter. Day the next day for about a week after. Nature is like so kind to us, you know. It could do great harm in an instant, but it can also care. As you know, like, there's still a lot of people without electricity, still. Some even with no running water. My friend Ito from Konya, he still has no electricity at the moment. And as I go and visit him, but he's still just tough under the wind. He's still kind of tough. It's impressive. Unfortunately, we have another Indian summer again, late in December, basically. When is he going to get to 2012? I will right now. We have little patience due to our time constraints often imposed upon us. We should not allow this. Understanding is a multifactorial and takes time. The world is not going to end on what the Gregorian calendar states is December 21st, 2012. Many Maya are pleased by this misinterpretation of their Mayan calendar and teachings. I remember a female Mayan chief elder speaking out against this corrupted prophecy at the annual Indigenous Forum in the United Nations. She stated how it is a commercialized interpretation to benefit a few people, mainly Europeans and Americans, to profit off. One of them is Dr. Kalaman. I'm not going to go into it, I want to give more attention. But with regard to Dr. Kalaman, he's an American, he did some studies, not really an expert, there's a lot of talk, and but asked for the approval of Umbat Men, who is the actual expert of the Mayan lands, specifically in the area of Merida, southern Mexico. And since then, Dr. Kalaman has passed some years ago. Umbat Men is still alive, I believe in his late 70s at the point. We'll still speak. So, you will never find documentation of Maya speaking of doomsday. In the documentation I will salvage from the Chilam Balam after this time was devastated so much documentation does state great changes in the planet, whether wise and in humanity, spiritually and on an individual and interactive basis. Let's make sure we couple them so we know and remember that they are both in one. Our actions affect the planet, and the planet's actions in response to our actions affect us. We are one, inseparable. We are one, inseparable. A modern day example is basically this. Back in the last Khatun being a space of 20 years in the measurements of the Maya, that being like around 1992, there was an extreme polar shift in the polarity of the Earth to the point where the measurements of the aeronautics had to be readjusted because the planes they fly on the polarity, on the measurements of the polarity of the Earth. If these measurements had not been readjusted, there would have been severe accidents in the plane. In flight. Sean is going to be at this event right here. So be your son. He's going to speak on all those European and American convoluted folks who have brought us to this misperception. And another one that he's going to have that misperception. So to make you feel more at ease, I have some very strong evidence of why we're going to go into, or we're going to survive. Last year, an actual Mayan calendar that I'm going to share with you. So it's going to 2013. Here, I got it on 116. Calendar from Plaza Mexico, Mexiculture. So we're going to make it. Sorry, I really believed I was going to come up with something really The Neil deGrasse Tyson of the American Museum of Natural History, the African American expert, or the poet, Wild Zone. He's fake. He's a great astrologist. I don't know if you've seen him on Channel 13 or whatnot. He states scientifically the misperception, basically. So with regards to the alignment of the planets, how it's gonna happen on December 21st. It states it is. But it happens every year on December 21st. And so then there's also this skepticalness about Nibiru, or some new planet that's gonna miscollide everything. And so he's done his research with regard to Nibiru, or I forget what the name of the planet is. And every time they reference Nibiru, there's this great conspiracy, a great theory about it colliding around 2012. He states that all the people who reference it and state that it's what is it, a NASA reference, but they never mention exactly who from NASA, basically. So it actually doesn't contain like solid evidence. I have to put in here the flyer. The flyer that you is the flyer available tomorrow? Yeah. I glanced over this quickly. I'm not going to be a hater. I liked it, but I really didn't I didn't really read on it. I didn't see the calendar and stuff like that. But it just shows to say, like, you know, how wide the misinterpretation is on. And it's understandable whoever got it, because when I was looking for the pics for the PowerPoint presentation, when you put in my calendar, all the calendars that come up are Aztec calendars, or better yet said, the sunstone, and which is not completely far or completely incorrect, basically, because it is relative. It is relative. It is relative to the Mayan calendar. And I'll go into that. Very, very, very relative. But of course, I'm glad, you know, you of course predominantly folks of color, and especially folks from the Mexican heritage. But it's important to reach into your roots, because probably even your professors will teach you wrongly. I don't know who the professors are here, basically, but you have to search out for your culture and base, basically, to find the truth. The calendar, Merriam-Webster defines the calendar in 3 ways. The most applicable on here with regard to our considerations is a system for fixing the beginning, length, and divisions of time as weeks and months in a definite order. Here there is no mention of the sun or the moon, or seasons and their measurements, which were the basic origins in most cultures. Now, with regard to the Mayan calendar, I must clarify and say the Mayan calendar is in the plural. There is more than one, distinctly different from one another. And in fact, the central calendar, which has led the 2012 series, is a calendar within a calendar within a calendar, sort of like the hours in a day, in a week, in a year, etc. So, course, this is a more actualized Mayan calendar. It's beautiful because they put a zapatista in it. I don't know if Sean was the graphic art person, so he did that. So, beautiful. The Tolkien. Tolkain. There you go. Actualized version. Now with regard to the Mayan, but here the Mayan calendar is typical with varying cycles, circles to one another while working in sync, like the cassettes and bicycles, gears and cars, rotors or cogs in industrial machines. So here we have the 20 days in a month, eternal, all around. And the Tolkien calendar, one of the calendars. So here, each day has a name, of course, and an order. So the first day is An. Right here. An. It's pronounced like the A of Father. So with Khan, that day goes for vigor, sensibility, judgment, and maturity. The second is Tikan. Knowledge, culture, erudition, wisdom. Kimin. Go ahead. Kimin. I thought I would start system better because it's something about time. Fourth is Manif, which is to pass, proceed, Lamat, there, penetrate, examine. So the beauty of this is basically that the mind, their movements, they move with the days, with reason, with guidance, and also not just in the immediate time, Taban, beauty, Ejna, home, family, Kwak, duality, union, Ahau, Lord, God, unique, origin, foundation, peace, transform, vary, Akbal, arcane, esoteric. Let's go a bit. So of course this is the Tolkien. That's 20 months, right? So anyway, the Tolkien is right here. It's 20 months. And the days within the month are 13. Here in Mayan, the one dot representing 1, 2, 3, 4. The line representing 5. Line with the dot representing 6. 7, 8, 9, 2 lines of 10, 2 lines and a 1, 11, and so on up to 13. So in here is the Hab, the other calendar. Let's see one to this one, we separated it. Part of the Hab. The Hab is The Hob has a different measurement. It's closer to the Gregorian, which is 365 days. The Hob has also has 20 days. 13 day numbers. Because here it's 18 months in the house and 20 days as well. There's different names, of course. So every 52 years, the Hob and the soaking come in line. They both terminate. So 52 is a very significant number within cultures in Mesoamerica. In Aztec, or Nahuatl, if you want to very said, all the way back to the Olmec as well. So the Mayan have roots with the Olmec when they arrived about 1100 BC in the land of current Guatemala. So with regard to the 52, just as the time of Huitzilopochtli in the Aztec culture in the north, or Nahuatl, Olmec culture, sorry, but I got further back. At 52, everything was taken apart, destroyed, and made anew, even buildings. So the cycle started over again, the reverse, the return. This is a good reference point item. So again, here's the Hob, here's the soaking. And so, 20 day time and 13 numbers for soaking. The Hob date, always be reflected for days. So yeah, these rotations go this way. So at this point, 4 Ahau, 8 Kuku, 4 Ahau, 8 Kuku, had around at the beginning of this era and every 52 years. These are the months of the Hob. I have to keep, I don't know the definition of the months of the Hob. Before people go, I want to make sure that I have a flyer available with regard to Elvira Hortensio was not here and found the event. I will pick it up now. Sorry. Because 18 months of the Hob calendar, this one is in exact order. Up, Pope, is leader, chief, counselor, ruler. Woe is understanding, patience, talent, and serenity. Zik is maturity, youthfulness, plenitude, availability. intuition, vision, clairvoyance, perception. Seek is inventiveness, curiosity, perseverance, quest. Zul is purpose, and cycle. Yaqeen, strength, power, superiority, greatness. Mole, lead, control, group, unite. Chen, just, honest, fair, upright. Yash, innocent. Zak, fat. Ke, delicacy. Mak, personality. Hankin, attribute. Style, trait, nature. Muan, expertise. Hak, knock, hit, move, deviate. Interesting. Kayab, joy, cheerfulness, solid peace. Kumbu, clean, tidy up, wash, purify. Wayeb, rate, value, appreciate, esteem. Wayeb is an extra. It's like the leap year. It's an extra. When 18, we have the next one on just like I stated, with regard to the buildings, the structures being in line with nature, they were built calligraphy as well. So this is a stela. The stelas also have their measurements of time, also built with regard to the planets and their alignment to the planets all throughout Mesoamerica. So they also have glyphs, like the ones that I showed you before, along them that place the time. Even their placement along the geography represented where the sun and the moon would align. So there will be alignments directly towards the stella throughout Mesoamerica. Specifically, Mexico, Guatemala, Belize, Honduras. Well, at the time was one of the furthermost points.
Yeah, quick question. So I understand that each day has a meaning, but when the day actually occurred, what did it mean to people? Like when the day happened and that date was reached in the calendar, back in that day, what did the people feel? Because it had such a meaning for them.
Generally, with regard to certain days of prayer and vision and even dance. I'm partial dancer, but Avita, I don't know about Avita is a long time dancer with the local Aztec dance group. I don't recall the name. Actually, from what I read, it was also basically attribution with regard to certain wars going on in honor between Mayan tribes, and also certain blood that existed of the emperors who were taking over. So if some, even either way, even if the day was not completely focused around the meaning itself that was set in stone, something would come about and it would seem applicable in reverse psychology. So this is the Aztec sunstone, what is called as the Aztec calendar, Solamat, better yet said, or the stone of the sun. So basically, with regard to the quality of it being also kind of a soaking means rays of the sun. It has 20 glyphs around, and then multiplied by the 13 up there, making it 250. The soakings are central. They're actually the master calendar, even though the long count is normal, of course. It's supposed to be more central measurement with regard to agriculture. So, further, with the comparative aspect, I was going to say, these are all calendars around Mexico, basically, currently, and they're placements. And they all have like their divisions, of course, all throughout Mexico. And it's mainly south of Tenochtitlan, Mexico City. And there's more in Central America, which I'll share with you. Here's one of them, the city mirror. It's hard to find a picture of a city mirror. I think it's in Oaxaca, right? Oh no, that's yeah, pretty much.
That's like Veracruz, right?
Yeah, very good, thank you. Hard to find an actual picture of a city mirror. It's actually somebody's, I think it's a earring. It's very earring, some jewelry business. That was the only thing I know that. They don't sell it as that. They sell it as just a piece of jewelry. See, even when I went next to Chautla, where my family's from, this is not on the map itself. It's in a village like south of Chautla, next to Oaxaca. But it's very deteriorated because it's in an area where there's a lot of salt, there's salt mines. So, but there's cliffs around the exterior. That's pretty much the only thing that's pretty visible, basically. This is in Bolivia. With, the calendar itself. It's a monolith. It's So here, on my most recent trip to Nicaragua, an elder shared with me in Sukiaba, Nicaragua, which is on the Pacific coast of Nicaragua. He shared where the last cacique, which is the last chief of the great times, had been assassinated. So just as well, he guided me and told me what it shows, what it expresses. Of course, the 20 months is this, and here, 13 days, if I recall correctly. So basically, he told me it's with regards to the measurement of also pregnancy, adding 14 days to become 274. And as well, the journey of the people from Sukiaba, when they came originally from Mexico, way north of Mexico, above Tenochtitlan, and came down to Sukiaba. So their journey starts here, even in the face. Everything intersects in to make it comprehensive. They're not like they started their journey here is that northern Mexico area. So going down to here, the eyes represent two lakes, which are, I believe, are in Guatemala or southern Mexico. I don't know which one's exactly. And just as well, this is a snake, and the snake leaves with the head side down represents evil, but it's with regard to Christianity and its imposition upon the people. So that's the interesting thing with the Sukiaba. So the Sukiaba were originally from way up north from Tenochtitlan. They have absorbed as well the Mayan culture. The Mayan culture also being the numbers, their numbers, and those glyphs have the same exact, those months on Easter have the same exact names. Their names exactly the same as on the Mayan calendar, on the solstice. So it's not boring so much to have an actual young Mayan expressing in Spanish. They have this whole conference of university in the part, and the volume.
Cuartos en el cual todavía había mucha tierra, ¿verdad? Nosotros nos enfocamos en tratar de evitar esos problemas, esos inconvenientes, ¿verdad? Ya que bien sabemos que la tierra produce muchas enfermedades, ¿verdad? Como puede ver en la imagen, tenemos tipos de abril, los cuales fueron donados por la municipalidad y la colaboración de profesionales. Como ustedes bien saben,
So just to say, he's talking about
la filosofía del calendario maya,
the third prophecy, bad usage of the land, and how they have a project with regards to replenishing the land with the people in the community. So this is brief, but I have a couple more to get to. Let me share with you a new revelation list. Actually, we're just going to wind down right now. The original text translated by Mexiculture from the book of Rambalam of Hebrews goes as follows. When the original 13 bastions were created, a war was waged. This is the prophecy which apparently led to this theory that the world would end. A war was waged through misinterpretation, which caused the country to cease to exist. Little by little, however, our enemies came to hear the prophecies of a howl. But finally, even the hope of hearing a howl is brought to an end because of the words of opposition. When the need arises for the high authority at the head of the mass to safeguard our children, then we will feel deeply the tragedy of being captive in war. Also, when we are ordered to obey, the nine shall arise in sorrow, alas, and when over the dark sea I shall be lifted up in a chalice of fire to that generation, there will come the day of withered fruit. The day of the sun will be extinguished because of the great tempest. Then finally ornament shall descend in peace. There will be good gifts for one and all, as well as land from the Great Spirit, wherever they shall settle down. Presently, Bastion 13 shall come sailing, figuratively speaking, bringing the ornament of which I have spoken from their ancestors. Then the gods will come to visit his little home. Perhaps after death will be the subject of this discourse. So that's the prophecy where you have come to conclude. I just promised it. So I'm gonna I know time is gonna go by so fast, but I'm here to compart another revelation which is not out there as often. This is how the writing goes. A young female child from deep south in the land of the Condor will be born prior to the final Khatun and absorbed by the people of the conquering culture. The corrupted child who will have lost her ways will be an excessive representation of the errors of her new people when she grows. Many will see her ways and accept her ways as in the final Khatun. Many people will have been corrupted. The seed shall bring fruit. The seed she will bring to the fruit will be destined for 13.0.0.0.0.0 in the long count, which is December 21st, 2012. But will come forth before its time. Early in the final Khatun. This is the seed with a new energy. The seed with the new energy before not seen, and energy of incompletion into completion. You must be prepared. Snooki was adopted by Italians, she was corrupted, and she just had kids. But it was destined for the December 21st, 2 minutes, and I'm good. I want to give Sean, can you Sean 5 minutes? You on? Oh, okay. I need to correct me if anything. This is interesting, even up to the any questions? Thank you so much. I hope I didn't bore you too much, and I really appreciate your time.